Now it's time to finish off the face and the mouth. Once again, the white goes at the strongest and the lightest part, which is virtually all over this nose, through there. Now we need the ivory, which fills in the darker areas, and also we can put it on the whole of the nose area. Next colour to use is our dark ochre. As I come up there, I'm just easing my pencil off the paper so we get a light area just here. Now, underneath the mouth, there's a little ochre, and in here a little less. Now follow that with a little of the ready ochre, again just to put in some tone. Now we need to bring some brown in. Let's be a bit more careful now because we're going with a dark colour. So we only want to put that in where very, very deepest shadowy areas, and not a lot through there. That, just a touch. And just on this side I'm putting a little shadow, like that. And I'm going to put a little shadow there. There's a very light application of this colour, because it's a strong old colour. And then just down in here, now we need to make it a little stronger. What I'm going to do is just darken it. We can pick that up when we do the hair. And just a little along the bottom here, like that. Now we're going to pick up the ochre again. This is the dark ochre, and here just softening those darker areas. I'm going to use the ivory to blend that in a little, because it's a little bit harsh, and in there. And we need a general colour, a little bit of pink over the whole thing, but a little bit extra pink on the lips, like that, on both there and there. And just add a little bit more colour to the lip area. Okay, now we need the ivory to blend in all of those colours. First of all, generally over the whole thing. That's coming on nicely now, but what we want is a little bit more contour. Now what we do, and this is quite good, you'll enjoy this, and what we're doing is using the white a little bit like a sculpturing tool. Now watch how this works. Okay, immediately I've got that, and it works here where we want the lightest part. We put a little bit more white and we just fade it out like that. Now it comes down in here again, and so on, all around the animal's face. And we just fade it ever so lightly here because I don't mind it being a little sharp. You see how that's brought that alive? And then just round the mouth itself, exactly the same, see? And in here, what we're doing is we come in different spots. I've got a few little marks which I left there earlier, which tell me that what I've got to do, and all I do is just fade those out a little, and then you can come in with your ochre and just put a little colour in like that. We'll just do underneath here with a little light here, and he's got what I would term as little bumps. Now I don't understand them, I just do them, and all you're doing here is I just put a little white bumps on there. We need to study them to find out what that is, but that's the finished face. Now moving on to the beard. Again, this is really important to make sure that you're working in the direction, because if you don't, it's going to look very odd. Now into the white, ever so lightly, you want a little grey, and put a little colour, a bit of tone, a bit of shadow, especially just here where it's going into the shadow. Bring back a little bit of the white. It stops the grey from being too harsh. Still there, as you can see, but the white being the predominant tone. Right, that's the face and the beard complete, and now we're going to put on the hair. Start with the ochre. This is the dark ochre, and the side of the pencil, not putting too much pressure on because there's a lot of colours to go in here. Now just on the side of the face where the hair meets the face, I want to put a bit of shadow. We did this at the top, we need to do it here so that when the darker colours go on, it looks more natural. Okay. And now the rest. Next colour will be the grey. I'm going to be using the paper blender in a moment or two, so we can afford to be very broad with our strokes here. Now the final colour in this sequence will be the dark brown. Now what I'm going to do here is to put in darker edge using the dark greyish brown. And it looks a little silly there, but it will be moulded in once we finish. But now we can see clearly where our definition lines are. Okay. Use the paper blender, as we did before, to blend this in so that we get a nice undercolour. Now we can move now to the next colour, which is the dark greyish brown. Now the only exception here is, because we've got a nice dark edge here, what we don't want to do is to make it as dark, otherwise we're going to end up with it being down here. So what I do here is we use this, but we use it a little lighter. It's good. And while we're here, we'll just finish this off just by dragging this back, twist the pencil so that it looks as though the hairs are coming out of the side of the face, just the odd stray hair. So now I'm just putting a little more strength in, pressing a little harder on the pencil. Again, good idea to use the side of the point of the pencil, which means you're not pressing too hard into the paper, because if that starts to crush, we're going to end up with a shiny paper. We don't want that. Yeah, with the odd stray hair coming over. Okay, you might as well finish this off while we're up here. What we need now is to just really put in a little bit of black. You can see how much stronger that is. First of all to this edge, which now separates the head from the body. And then it's the same here, we just put a little bit of the black, but we don't want to travel it too far down here, we'll end up making it too dark on that. Now I'm happy with that. There's only one thing I need to do, and that is just to put a few hairs trailing on the ear. We all have this problem as we get older, but unlike us, the chimps don't have any means of, and desire I might add, to get rid of them. There you are. And there we have our finished chimp.